Here's one about Tinder. Yeah, that's right. You're interested now, aren't you? Because it's about sex. Roll the intro.
A better you starts today.
Well, some of you get sex out of it. Some of you get a lot of sex out of it. A lot of people realise, no, desirable at all. And for those people, my honest advice to you is just give up and realise that you're never going to spread your speed. But I think that, honestly, look, there's a lot of losers out there that could very easily not be losers, but not easily. I'm saying that they're going to be like years of hard work ahead of you, but I would say that you should focus on those things first. But we can go into that another time. What I want to talk about now is the big problem with Tinder, and I think that you know what it is, and that is that it's not Bumble, and so it's fucked. But then the other one is that it is, and we're talking about all dating apps in general, there is the Sideswipe, the destroyer of relationships. What do we know what it is? This is the thing that destroys longevity. I've said it before, I'll say it again. What destroys longevity in relationships? In fact, they don't get your rank chef no more, eh? Well, that is one of the alternate, like, little pieces in it, but there is that. Yeah, look, it's just hard for the same woman. But there's tricks around that, by the way. But that's one of the things that happens. What happens when you're in a long-term relationship for a long time is you start becoming quite deluded and start thinking, I could do better. All the time. You always think, I could do better. And the thing is, look, let's be honest. If you are in a long-term relationship, especially in the modern age, there's not that many people that are worth being in a long-term relationship. Let's be honest about that first, yeah? There's a lot of people with a lot of psychological problems, which is why, by the way, I am very proud of you for clicking on this self-help channel, because it means that you are somewhat interested in not being one of those fucked human beings that think, I'm perfect because I grew up in the West and all consumerism does is just say that I'm amazing so that it could just infiltrate the narcissism that exists in my brain and feed me a bunch of pills and shit. You know, like, at least you've got that. At least you've got yourself going for that you're not looking for the quick fix in life and you are looking to incrementally, painfully improve yourself. That's sick. That's a good sign from the beginning. But this always creeps in. This is a very important point about relationships. Relationships, always. The main cause of them being destroyed is in the back of one or two of your minds. You start thinking, there's someone better out there. First off, that's probably not true. I think we've covered that. Good. Then I will carry on. And then the second thing is that you get that hyper-fixated in your mind as a result of dating apps because there is someone better around the corner. Theoretically, all the time. Boop, 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 swipe left, blip, 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 blip. Especially if you're a chick. No, I don't think I'll do with that. And fair enough. There's so many guys out there just being like, Great Northerns, does anyone else drink that beer? No, that's why I'm unique. So you're going boop, 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 but it is training your brain constantly to just be like, what's around the corner? What's around the corner? What's around the corner? What's around the corner? The most damaging thing of all social media is something good's about to happen, 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 and it never does! Ever! And then you just wake up one day, you're like, I'm 35, what the fuck? Like, that happens. That happens. Well, we don't know because dating apps haven't been around that long, but it is happening. It is happening. Your brain is getting trained to think that something is always around the corner. That is the same, you know the phrase chasing the dragon? That is about this idea that once you have heroin once and it was amazing, and then you have it again and it's not as good, but you think, okay, well maybe I can just, it's almost as good as the first time. No, it wasn't as good. I think that's what it means. Look, I'll be honest, I'm not that in tune with heroin culture. I saw Train Spotting once and I was like, so it's not much about trains. There you go. That's pretty much it. Yay. I hope that you're doing well, heroin addicts. But all I'm saying is that people on dating apps are pretty much heroin addicts these days. Everyone is, because it's just the nature of social media. It is designed to be as addictive as fucking possible. And it is the same thing that is the end of every addiction ever. It is always, it's going to be good this time, I swear. And it never is. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't people. I'm saying that a lot of the time, even if you are getting rejected, you're swiping all the time with that thought in the back of your mind. That becomes very corrosive once you are in a long-term relationship. This is what I'm talking about now. When you are in the long-term relationship, because you've seen how many options are out there, and the thing is, now, because of dating apps and everyone's on it, I remember once I was watching Beauty and the Beast, which is a great show. You should look at it. And yes, I'm not talking about the Disney classic. I'm talking about the Australian classic, which was daytime television, where it'd be one guy in the centre and like 4 hags, and he'd be like, "Shut up, Stan," and like, "Shut up, you dumb leash." It was awesome. Never to be repeated again. It was pretty much just every podcast now. So anyway, one time somebody came out with some stats and said, in the future, because everyone's going to be so busy and isolated, everyone's just going to find their romantic partner online. And that is what happened. One of the massive downsides is, back in the day, you had a chick that was somewhat hot in, I don't know, accounting. But well, let's be honest, no chicks in accounting are hot. HR, there you go. In HR, one of them would have been attractive. You're just like, yeah, okay, well, I'm in a slightly senior position, so she thinks I'm a lot better than I am. And then you marry, and that's that. And then because you only ever see 5 or 6 women, you're like, yes, she's the hottest woman on earth, as far as I'm concerned. And then you go on dating apps, and then you realize it's like this endless thing of just like, I wonder what it would be like to have sex with a black chick today. Asian, all the colours of the rainbow. That's what starts happening in your head. It is corrosive and bad because it just turns everyone, well, it turns a bunch of people into people that just don't have any sex at all. But like, you know, even the winners are not winners in this equation. Now, how do we get out of that? We need to understand that, and this is scientifically proven as well. I can't remember the name of the book, as usual. Sign up to Jordan Shanks, where I sometimes mention what the book is that I'm currently reading. And I give you 3 extra videos of these a week, where I give you sound, solid advice, proven, clinically proven, to advance you with someone who is telling you all the time to do it. And that's the important part, because all of this is theoretical unless you implement it. And the thing is, nothing that I say is hard to implement, but it is hard to implement it, if you know what I'm saying. So you need someone to sit there and keep you accountable. That's how you do it. So anyway, sorry about that. Let's get into the main point here, which is that sometimes you are going to come across these people in your life that will come in and you'll be like, yeah, they're pretty good. And then you move on. And I think that this idea of like, oh my God, it was love at first sight. First off, usually that's lust, most of the time, by the way. But then, after the lust subsides, you realize that they're not great. And then everything just goes by the wayside. Usually, a partner that's pretty good should, and this is a key point, and I want you to write this down. This is crucial for your future. I want you to write down 3 character traits of a partner that you will not negotiate on. 3 character traits. I don't know what it is. Pretty, smart, kind, whatever. If that person ticks those 3 boxes, your intention for that person is to make them a long-term partner. Why do you want a long-term partner? Because that is the type of relationship that forces you both to grow together. Because holding someone together like that creates a level of maturity that swinging dick for your entire life does not. Now, having said that, as we all know from experience, that can be very fun. But I also know from experience, when you start getting into your 30s, so there's going to be a couple of triggered 30-year-old playboys in here being like, yeah, you're just trying to compensate. Maybe I am. Who knows? Maybe I am. Maybe I am trying to compensate. But I would argue that they do not have as fulfilling lives. I just do not see it. I see people that are in long-term relationships, and yeah, they don't have that nice little like, yay, all the time. But they have someone there when the chips are down. That helps a lot. And then their day-to-day is kind of like, yeah, it's not going to have the same, because it's just like, oh, a new toy, you know? It's not that, but it's your old dependable buddy Woody. That's a lot better. Anyway, the point is, you want those 3 traits. Those are non-negotiable. Now, here's the thing that you also need to know, because people always think, what about what happens in the future? What if they change? Here's something that we also know. If you are meeting and dating someone who is cantankerous, bitter, and nasty, you keep dating them for 10 years, they will probably continue to be cantankerous, bitter, and nasty. People's personalities. And this is something that endlessly fascinates me. And this is something that you need to come to terms with in self-help. Yes, you can fundamentally change your behavior. How many people do? How many people go through the rigmarole of doing it? I did it slightly, but I honestly think that I am a refined version of myself as a result of reading so much self-help. I am not a completely different person. That's what I'm talking about. Fundamentally changing your bad traits is a very difficult thing that most people will never own up to because it's painful to do. So if you are dating someone from the beginning that is fucked, 10 years later, they're going to be fucked. If you date someone from the beginning that is nice and kind and empathetic, they're going to be nice and kind and empathetic 10 years in the future. Unless they have like a brain damage and then all of a sudden they're like, I'm a goblin for some reason, just activated that part of my brain. You can't come unless you pay gold to this bridge. What? You never used to care about crossing this bridge at all. And now you're always charging people money for it. And the cops are too weirded out by your behaviour to even arrest you about it. Apparently so. They even gave me $2 to get this bridge. So, yes, that does sometimes happen if they have like huge brain aneurysms. But no, most of the time, no, that is not what happens. Usually, if somebody is the way that they are at the beginning, they're just going to be that, but more refined, depending on how much they work on self-improvement, which you can do at my Melbourne seminar, as well as signing up to Jordan Shanks for 3 extra videos. So make sure that you do that. But these are the big takeaways that I want you to understand. Social media is good, as always. There is a blessing to it. It is good in that you don't have to do what I did, which was just like read a fuckload of pickup just so you can go to a club and be like, what's your name? My name's Jordan. You don't have to do that shit anymore. And that's such a better world that I grew up in. Although, I've got to say, look, I do miss those days. Even the really scummy times when you just so embarrassing and fell on your ass in a puddle of your own tears. That had its own beauty to it. But you know what I would have much rather have done? Be on Tinder and fuck 600 women by the time I'm 19. You know, like, that would be way better. But anyway, the thing is, that once you get tired of that aspect of it, just know that it probably has trained your brain to be like, no. And that is a bad trait to have. And it creates a shallow human being. So you need to get in a relationship for your own benefit in terms of just growing, in terms of maturing, yeah? And so the way that you do that is that you understand, first off, that this little concept of I can do better, there's something else around the corner. That is how heroin addicts think. But then the next part after that is that you need to just write down your 3 traits. If you're single right now, I want you to write down 3 traits of someone that you will not negotiate on. And then after that, everything else is negotiable. And I also want you to write down, just so you have this in your head, because it does work wonders as well. I want you to write down your ideal man/woman. I want you to write them down. What would they be like in as much detail as you can? Because you will be surprised that if you look at it, it will just boil down into those 3 traits anyway. So it's very important to have those 3 traits in your mind. You always want to make things as simple and easy as possible for you to remember in the courting process. Because this is the other thing as well. When you get in that enamored lust mode, you end up just being like, yay, and we're moving to Paris together. Oh, nothing bad can ever happen. And then you do that. You're on a date with them for 2 years straight. And then, you know, hey, I woke up. Where's my wallet? And my kidneys. That happens. Yeah? And it happens because you don't have your little traits while you're single. It's a very important thing to do. I kind of just lucked out with my girlfriend. I wish I knew that. And then the final thing that we want to understand is that whatever someone's personality is at the beginning of the relationship, it'll probably be what it is at the end of the relationship. So none of this like, I can change them shit. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Hopefully that was helpful. If it was, sign up to Jordan Shanks. You will not regret it.